Hi, welcome to the BariNation podcast, where we support the bariatric community with humor, humility, and honesty. I'm April.
I'm Jason.
I'm Natalie.
And if you're watching, you already know one of our most favorite bariatric humans on the planet, Dr. Smith, is joining us today. Hi, Dr. Smith.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Well, you know why we're here. We have some incredibly exciting news to share with the world. Would you like to make the announcement, Dr. Smith?
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, extremely excited to announce that myself and the Kentucky Bariatric Institute has decided to partner with BariNation for our patients. And I'm sure the next question for most people is like, well, what does that mean? And I think in a nutshell, and I'm going to simplify this a little bit, but what we have decided to do is realizing the importance of community for bariatric surgery patients and how vital that is in their success. We can't preach that as surgeons and as a practice without providing resources to patients. And so I went to my administrative team years ago, Jesus, it seemed like years ago, months ago. We're approaching a year as long as this has been going on, to be honest with you. But many months ago, I sat down with them and I said, look, we have to think outside the box. And I want to do something that, to my knowledge, no one has ever done. And we, as Center of Excellence practices, we offer support groups and we try to offer all the resources that we can, but we're limited on what we can do. And I will also tell you, as surgeons, and I've mentioned this before on this podcast, that we in the past have been very intimidated, including myself, of social media and patients going elsewhere to get information. And nothing's ever changed. We want that information to be accurate. We want it to be correct. We want it to be uplifting. But I think what I had to do, I can't speak for others, but I had to realize that sometimes I'm not always the best person for the patient, just because I'm the surgeon. And if you ask people that I take care of, if you ask my staff, that's kind of been my mantra to them over the years of saying, I need to surround myself with really good people. And my goal is to get you from here to here as a patient, from point A to wherever your goals are. And I don't always have to be the person to get you there. But if I have great dietitians and I have great psychological help and support, then we can do that. And so I sat in a meeting with my administrative team, with LifePoint Health System, as well as Kentucky Bariatric Institute. And I said, I've been saying this, but I think we're still missing a component of that and we can do better. And they didn't know what BariNation was. And I literally showed them some examples of your podcast, your all's Instagram pages, and just some of the dialogue that goes on. And I'm like, this is where we have to go next. But we can't just, and you all know, we've always encouraged patients to go to places like your all's website and other places to get good resources. But I said, it has to move past the suggestion. It has to become a part of our program to where we can make an investment in our patients to say, not only do we think this is important, but we're going to get you started on us because this is part of the program. This isn't optional. This is a part of the process to make you successful and to equip you with all the tools. And so a lot of discussions took place, as you all know, and on our side with you all and our people and your people and other people and everybody involved. And at the end of the day, we now have a signed, sealed, delivered partnership where when our patients choose to have bariatric surgery with us, this is part of the program that they're provided. They will be provided access to your program for a period of time. And we will not make this optional. We will say, this is what you do. Just like you take your vitamins, just like you have your follow-up appointments, this is where you go. Because let's be honest, we can't provide 45 support groups a month of topics dealing from everything from eating disorders to depression, to divorce after weight loss surgery, to hitting plateaus and everything in between. But what I realized is you guys can. And I did my due diligence on researching you all. We've developed a relationship And I know all the resources that you all have. And I thought, I remember them looking at us and saying, "Oh, who do we need to hire? How do we do this?" And I'm like, "No, we don't need to recreate the wheel. We have really good people. And guess what? They've all been through this. They're patients." And so that's where we are. So when we launch this, our patients will get this as part of the program, as an investment made by our practice for our patients. This will be patients that are newly having surgery. This will be patients who've had surgery who are within our program that can still access this as well. And me, I like to be the outside the box kind of person. And I think this is next level. And I don't know of another bariatric program that doesn't just suggest this, that invests in their patients. Because I'll be honest with you, what you all do is as important to our patients is what our dietitians do, is what my nurse practitioners and physician's assistants do, what my bariatric nurses do, and even what I do. This is vital for long-term results. And I'm super excited to finally get this on paper and roll this out.
We couldn't be more excited either, because we value not only what you do, but the voice that you have in our community. And to hear you step up and say that this is as important and is as vital, and coming from us as patients being told forever that we don't know it, like our voice isn't important because we just went through it. So, we're not medically trained. We're not certified in this. We're not, there's lots of things, the reasons why the patient voice hasn't been accepted until now. But now that people are starting to actually step up and it's becoming more prevalent to listen to the patient side of things, you stepping up behind and actually championing this cause shows everyone that the patient voice isn't something to be feared, but it's really something to be celebrated and backed, because we can do the things that, that a lot of programs aren't able to do just by sheer manpower or red tape or whatever you want to call it. Whatever the reasons that keep it from happening are, the fact that you guys are stepping up and doing this and being the first of its kind partnership really will, I think, spread nothing but help and support through the community. And we can't thank you enough for that.
Well, I thank you guys for what you do.
Yeah. And really breaking the barrier, right? Like, there's never been a partnership between a surgery practice and patient-led support systems. And so I echo April, Jason. We are so excited to partner with you and KBI to bring this first of its kind partnership and see where it goes. And hopefully we can pave the way for more practices in the future.
I remember the very first time, Dr. Smith, we had the privilege of speaking to you. It was when we recorded our first podcast episode with you. And the conversation was so enlightening. It was so rich. But what all three of us walked away with was this sense that you really understood what we were going through as a patient. You acknowledged that our centers had missed some of that support. You kind of lamented that it was lacking. And you very clearly said what you are building is what this community needs. Your mission was aligned to our mission. I just remember you left the Zoom screen, and Jason and Natalie, I just stared at each other. We were like, is he real? Like, I don't know. Like, oh, we've never encountered, somebody like that. We've had the honor and privilege of working with so many surgeons, and there have been a few that really we have aligned with because they believe in the patient. They're so skilled at what they do, and they believe in this kind of this adjunct treatment model. And man, that very first episode with us just solidified that relationship with us and you.
Well, I've learned so much from you guys, from the entire community, really. I think we probably talked a little bit about this on that first podcast where I was so anti-social media, and I don't want to say social media in general, but involving my practice and what I do professionally on there. I think I was, we're always scared of things that we're uneducated about or we don't know. And I remember thinking of all the fears of, oh, gosh, this could happen or this could happen. And so I think I utilized a couple good resources that are close to me that know that realm a little better than me and really help me navigate through that. and I was blown away by the community that was out there. And in the process of seeing this massive community of patients who've had weight loss surgery or people seeking it out, or in surgeons as well, dietitians, therapists, I stumbled across you guys, and it was kind of like all of that merging together. And, you know, I think I had to reach a point where, as we talked about in a very short snippet about my involvement with the show, and I was so anti wanting to get involved with that because my perception of what I'd seen before was not anything what I was about.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, you know, I can sit at home and I can complain about it, or I can do something about it. And that's a lot of things in life, right? We can either speak up and make a change and try to influence our aspect, because if we think our idea is so good, then why are we not showing it? And I think that I just kind of jumped in, and the more I got involved, you guys, and I mean this wholeheartedly, you all have taught me so much, because I appreciate your comment where you said, I understand what you all have gone through, but I actually, my ability to understand what you've gone through is me realizing I don't understand what you've gone through, right? It's the humility of understanding I'm not a patient, and I can understand the science side of it. I can understand the medicine side of it. And I hear it a lot. But I have to also be willing to be humble enough to know I'm not a patient. I'm not a patient. And so I need to listen to these people. And even when they tell me stuff that sounds so opposite of what I should be hearing, there's validity to it, you know? And maybe your explanation behind why you're going through what you're going through isn't in line with what's happening physiologically, but that's okay. You're still experiencing it. And if we can bring the two together, and I can help you and you can help me, and I mean that. I think you guys have taught me so much about how I look at my patients every single day, to take an extra deep breath when I'm hearing something that makes zero sense whatsoever, to realize the struggle of like, you know, why can't you? I just need you to do this. Come on, I just need you to do this. And I've heard, you know, it's not easy. It's a struggle, and it's still new to you. You know, I hear Jason say all the time, you know, you're a toddler when you start off. And it's given me so much more patience. It's given me so much more, I think, hopefully humility in doing what I do. And I like to think that that's made me a better surgeon, even though you all have never taught me anything I do in the operating room, because that's only a part of it. So I'm super excited. I have to thank the powers that be and my partners within KBI and LifePoint for them going out on a limb. This has never been done. They've never done this. You run this by people, and you're like, what? We're gonna partner with a social media group. I mean, you know, when people are making decisions and they think about investments and return on investments, and I'm like, but here's what I need you to understand. This may or may not show up on a piece of paper or on an ROI, but this is going to impact our patients, and they're going to be more successful, and they're already doing really well. And that's what we're here for. And they looked at me, and thank goodness they said, all right, we trust you. Don't prove us wrong. Let's go. And so here we are.
Well, and one of the things that, you know, really kind of blew April, Natalie, and myself away the first time we were in contact with you was when we did get to talking about the show. Because when you told us, you know, you said it flat out. You were like, well, I told them I wasn't going to do it if I couldn't be myself. There was never a part of me that was going to be gimmicky or for the show or for TV alone. Like, I'm going to be me, and I'm going to bring it in a way that I understand, so that people understand that it doesn't have to be the gimmick, the sideshow, the thing that they make it on, you know, any of the other shows. And that's really what, when we knew that we aligned with you in such a way, because we may have, you know, we have do this on social media, we do the podcast, we do the things, but when we show up in public to do things, or we partner with people to do things, we're just the same way as we are. Like, we've never been anybody that we're not, because the true, most authentic product that we can bring is what's going to help people. It's not the gimmicks, the sideshows, all the other stuff, or the catchphrases, or any of that silly stuff that help. It's us being true, genuine people that people can connect and understand, that is going to get them to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I'm excited for a lot of reasons for this partnership, but I have known very soon after surgery that my surgeon did a phenomenal job of operating on me, kept me alive, right? Did his magic. but there was some magic inside of me that I needed to bring forth. But that magic could not truly be fully utilized until I was around other people who were going through what I was going through. And when I found my voice as a patient, and when I was able to learn to advocate for what I needed, other people started listening, and they joined me. And this dream started with Jason, Natalie, and I. Right? We were just some, and we know we hate this term, but we were influencers with a dream. We wanted to create a peer-led community where we could access the expert support and that peer guidance that we needed to really find, lifelong success. And in the course of the past few years, we have really gone from influencers with a dream to a bariatric education organization. And this partnership really, I think, helps solidify that transition for us. And it elevates the patient voice in a way that it has never been elevated before. It's acknowledging that this has been a missing piece to a patient's, treatment plan for a very long time, and that finally obesity has a name and a face and a voice, and it includes the patient. It's an elevation that we are thrilled and excited for. It's something that we have been hoping for a very long time. And this partnership really cements the importance of patients in the story of the disease of obesity.
I think I had so many discussions about this as an idea. And I remember one particular conversation. It was pretty early in the process, but I remember sitting down with them, and they're still kind of looking at me. They're listening, but I could tell they're trying to figure out, how does this fit in? And why do we need this? And they didn't disagree. It's just nothing had ever been presented to them this way. And you also have to understand, there's some people, they don't understand bariatric surgery completely. They understand that we do surgery and our patients do really well, and we achieved a lot of great accomplishments as a program. They love the success stories. They see people's lives get changed, but they don't know what goes on between point A and point B to get there. And I remember, sitting down with them and saying, look, we as physicians are focused on quality, right? That's our job, to do surgery that goes well. We minimize our length of stay. We want our weight loss to be as good, if not better, than what's expected nationally, our complication rate to be lower than what's expected nationally. We want good follow-up care for people checking their labs and all this other stuff. But we also sit down within the medical community and we talk about like compliance and support, and how important that is for people to lose weight. We all know, even the CEOs and CFOs know that surgery is not a fix by itself. And we talk about lifestyle changes and all these big terms that are catchphrases, as you say, that everybody agrees with. But what's the nitty gritty behind that? Like lifestyle change. You need a lifestyle change. Well, so that, like changing your lifestyle, I can do surgery all day, every day, and that is easy. Changing someone's lifestyle is a lifestyle change. You have developed a habit or a routine for your entire life, and we're asking you to take that and turn it around and flip it upside down. Now, I don't do brain surgery. You all know that. We all know that doesn't fix it. So how in the world can we expect to provide a lifestyle change and continued support of a lifestyle change with just making sure vitamin deficiencies aren't happening and all these things? That's why support groups are important. But I have patients that come from 10 hours away plus, and I've got a support group on site and virtually, and that's it. And that's what everybody does. Some people don't even do that. But we now have the ability to put our money where our mouth is, right? And to say, not only is this important, but we're going to provide you a resource to have access to therapy sessions. Boom, it's included. To have access to speak to dietitians, to have access to speak to peers, just like you all, that have dealt with all the things that you've dealt with. And I can say it, but sometimes you're going to look at me and say, I don't get you. Our personalities may be clashed, or I need to hear it from somebody that's lived it. Here we go. And Honestly, the more we talked about it, I'm like, you guys could roll out a massive budget for me and we could build our version of KBI Nation, if you want to call it that. But I don't want just our people. I want people all across the country that have been through this, that have seen it from different perspectives. Because now I know that my patients have an opportunity to connect with somebody who they communicate well with, they identify with, they understand how they speak and what they've been through. And I have the peace of mind to know that they're getting good information, that they're getting it from people who are licensed when they say they're licensed. And they will also defer them back to their surgeon if it's something that they don't feel comfortable answering. And I think, again, I can't speak for everybody else. I do think we as surgeons need to get better, but I can only do me first, right? I can only take care of me first. And I said, I've got to realize that I got to put some trust in these people because they have resources that I can't do because I've not been there. So let's join forces. And maybe this will raise some eyebrows across the country and say, wow, we are not giving our patients everything that they need. We're doing a great job, but we're not giving them everything they need. And when they come back 6 months, 12 months, and they've not lost as much weight as we thought, and we look at them and say, what happened? Well, what did we provide? My patients now have resources that use this. This is what helps you along the way. And I'm here too.
And I think there's something to be said too about the patient experience versus the surgeon or medical experience. April and Jason, before I had even joined forces with them, had always said that patients are experts in the patient experience. Medical professionals are experts in their field. And to, I think, a huge reason of why we wanted to partner with you and KBI is that you do acknowledge and allow us to be experts in our patient experience, and we welcome in your expertise and your knowledge, and that's where this partnership, I think, is really going to blossom for a lot of people. I mean, there have been times talk about lifestyle changes and mindset. You brought up on a podcast very recently about stalls, and you said, well, isn't a stall the point? And I'm like, I guess so. Like, I never would have thought that, but that's where I was being the patient brain and you were being the medical brain. Like, no, we want to get you to a stall. And having that marriage of the two experiences and the two expertise, allowing each other to be in that lane, their own lane. I think there's something really to be said about that and this partnership that BariNation and KBI are doing.
And the glorious thing really about this partnership is that it is a really beautiful relationship, because where your expertise, right, is handing off, they're going into a warm, welcoming, inclusive community where not only can they learn what this lifestyle change is and looks like and feels like, but it's a safe place to practice it. That's the key, right? That's the key. Yes, we know that we have to change our lifestyle. What does that even mean? What has to change? How do I change it? Where do I change it? Where do I start? That's where we come in. That is where we come in. And like so many times in our lives, our parents might tell us to do one thing and we're not going to listen to them. But if our friends or if a teacher or if somebody we also respect tells us to do it, we're more inclined to do so. So that's where we can really step in and help guide people through that aspect of their journey.
Absolutely. And you know, I've said for years when I tell patients, when they start the process with us, I want you to know our job as a practice is to create an environment that you feel is comfortable to come in our office when you've gained 10 pounds as much as when you want to celebrate losing 50. It's easy to show up when you're successful. It's easy to show up when I use the term sometimes Instagram worthy, and that's probably a terrible term, but you get where I'm coming from, where I'm so excited to post this pic because I went from this size to this side or whatever. That's the easy part. It's hard to come in when you've maybe not doing as well as you think you should. And maybe you are doing well and you've hit that stall, like you said, and it's a normal stall. But if we don't create an environment where you're not going to come in and be judged or be yelled at or be criticized or be given up on care of that, then how can I expect you to show up? I have to make sure your experience is consistent no matter what the results. Now, that doesn't mean we're not honest with you. And that's what I like about you guys. You all can hold each other accountable. You're honest with each other, but that does not mean that you're disrespectful of each other. It doesn't mean you're judgmental of each other. And this just enlarges the number of people that my patients can be exposed to have a positive influence on them. I feel like it's an extended family of people who've experienced a variety of things and a lot of specialties involved, of saying, here is who you're a part of, and you can use any of these resources. And I feel confident in telling you that we align. And then when it comes to a surgical question, you're going to get kicked back to me anyway. But a lot of these people have been through it, and you all are smart individuals as well. So I'm just glad we finally got here. As you know, how long we've been working on this. These things are never easy. You get contracts and lawyers and all that stuff, and we just let's just do this. But in all honesty, it's not been hard. It's been long, because we wanted to make sure that we had everything set up. I know you guys wanted to make sure that you had the resources you needed set up, because you're going to have an influx of members that's going to significantly increase the population in your chat rooms and your sessions and things like that. And we're super excited to see where we can take this. I know we've been brainstorming that people will learn about down the road, but a lot of cool opportunities for our patients. And I'm excited for my patients who maybe didn't choose on their own to be a part of your all's community, to get to see what you all have to offer. And this will be something that when they start our program, just like we say, here's the list of things you do, BariNation, you are a member now. And this is where you go. These are the things that we want you to start getting involved in leading up to surgery, after surgery. And this can be life-changing for you for a lifetime of community.
Yeah. We are absolutely thrilled at this opportunity to partner. We are so excited that not only KBI patients are going to gain a community and resources and education that they need, but that this will also benefit everybody in the bariatric community, right? The more that this support is normalized, the more that this support is talked about and encouraged, the more people will not be afraid to access this level of care. It really is elevating bariatric care, patient voice. It is helping to end the stigma of surgery, and it's helping to shine a warm and welcoming light on an area in so many lives that have been kind of shrouded in darkness.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's exciting. And I think, to be able to finally look at our patients and say, I think things like support groups have always been perceived as something that you go to when you're screwing up or you're failing or you're struggling. And I in the past, I would always say, hey, you're doing well, go to a support group, because you could be a positive influence. And that sounds great and wonderful, but these people live busy lives and they can't always travel, even if they live close by. And now I have the ability to look at patients and say, you have no excuse to not be a part of a support group every month, minimum. Maybe you can do one a week. It's totally up to you. Here's all the resources you have. Find the ones where you're struggling, and maybe life changes. What you need this 6 months may be different than what you need the next 6 months, what you need help with. You have access to that. And we will, what I want to say to our patients when they watch this is, we aren't taking away anything. We're not stopping doing anything we're all going to do. In fact, you're all probably going to cause us to step our game up, because our staff are going to be involved and they get to see this stuff, and it's going to spur ideas for us of topics that we can have locally and can, continue upon. So we're not turning part of our job over to you. We're bringing you in to help us do our job even better. And we're going to continue to do what we're doing and hopefully do what we're doing even better on our own too. But now I can ask patients to do those things, and I've provided the resources for them.
Yes. Nope. You have single-handedly elevated patient care to a level that it has never been at before. And we are just beyond excited to watch everybody thrive because of this partnership. Dr. Smith, thank you so much for joining us today to make this amazing announcement. I know we will be seeing much more of you in the future as our relationship blossoms.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you guys for everything that you do. And I'm excited for my patients to get to learn what I already know about what you all have to offer to help them get where they want to be.
Absolutely. Jason, my friend, you want to take us out?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Smith, I just, thank you from the patient's perspective. Thank you. We can thank you all day for what you've done for us and what's going to happen for the, for the future with us and you guys and KBI. But, the patients, I guarantee you'll be hearing a great thank you from the patients as well in the future. And just remember, at the end of the day, you've got this, we've got you, and we will see you next time.
All right.
Bye, friends.
See ya.